G'day guys, goeiedag, we gaan dit. My name is Wildkard, and yeah, after the torture that was the Lions tour game, this was really entertaining. I really enjoyed this game, nice and relaxing. You know, not 12 years of history on the line, but yeah, you know, it's good to see that the Springboks and most importantly, the Georgians turned up with the A team and put on a big performance against the mighty Springboks, okay? Now, by the way, I don't know if this was their A team or B team. I don't know. Do you know if this was the Georgian A team? You don't know either. So nobody knows if this is Georgian A team. But they did really well, okay? Unlike the Italians with their B team, they did really well. You know, I knew the Georgians really loved their maul, really loved their scrummaging, but I did not know that they were going to come out and score more try against the Springboks. And more surprisingly, win penalties against the Springboks in the scrummaging. So, Dr. Rassie probably not going to be very happy with that. Despite the scoreboard, there was a lot of little errors from the Springboks, and you know the doctor, you know, inside the Dr. Rassie Rasmus Springboks Doctor. Let me get this right. The Rassie Rasmus Springboks doctrine, right? Inside the Rassie Rasmus Springboks doctrine, scrum, drop ball, and losing a little bit of an idea of what to do for like maybe about 20 minutes second half when the bomb squad came on. It was not really the in the you know, not really part of the playbook for the Springboks there as well. So really, I think, you know, a lot of credit has to be given to this Georgia team. They really scrambled really well, disrupting the Springboks, causing those knock-ons because they played, you know, they scrambled and they played, they tackled hard, they hit hard, they physically fronted up. And the same thing, the scrummaging as well. They were, like, the engagement was like, you can hear it, like, on TV, like, teams were smacking into each other in the engagements. Last time I saw the Springboks hitting the engagements this hard against another team was against the Lions, you know, in 2021. And that, you know, it just shows how much these guys can and how much they prepare. And there were literally scrums where it was hit so hard, and then like one of the props would just like slip from the engagement, and the referee issues a penalty, and just absolute, you know, brutal stuff on the Georgian as well. And also the more try from the Georgia. Is that even legal? Like, was really interesting because it's literally like a new take on how the more is conducted from the Georgians. Like, you normally the more that with, you know, you will be taught is in the traditional style, the Springbok style, is to keep it tight. You don't want people to kind of like swim through the middle and then, you know, get their hands on the ball carrier at the back. So you want to keep it tight, keep it like, you know, in a good structure, and then you go forward, and as you kind of like stop, as the form of momentum is slowing down or stopping, and then you kind of like roll them all around to get that rolling more going. That's kind of like the textbook way to do it. That's kind of like how everybody tries to do it. The Georgian ball was really different. The players up front, that is kind of like, you know, protecting the ball at the back from the ball. Instead of like keeping it tight, they detach themselves and they just peel off with the Springbok players that are pushing into the maul, right? They just peel off with the defender. And suddenly it's like the defensive maul just opens up. It opens up in the middle, and then the ball carrier goes through the middle of the maul because all the players around him has just grabbed the defender and peeled off. I'm not even sure that's legal, but it was a really interesting take on the maul. And then like the Georgia ball carrier went through the middle and got the maul try. Really interesting. I'm not sure if Rassie Rasmus is gonna potentially look into that to use it for the Springboks themselves, but it was really effective to say the least, because if you're a defender, you're just pushing with somebody and you still, you know, you don't know what's going on, and suddenly you're like, you know, off to the side with the guy that you're pushing on, and the opposition is going through the middle, and you're just like you don't know what's going on. You've completely lost track of where you're supposed you're out of position, right? Really good there as well. And then in addition to that, I thought the Springboks at the beginning, the first line out, it was like, I was very entertaining, by the way, this one. You look like everybody was doing magic tricks. Like, I think Quagga Smith started with, like, trying to pretend he had the ball. And then there was, like, a number of players looks like to me they were pretending that they had the ball, was running around, and like I was genuinely confused for a moment. In that first try from the Springboks, I was genuinely confused as like what's going on, but I was definitely very, very entertained. Okay, very, very entertained by that. So yeah, really good to see that as well. And then in addition, the clone, Curdy Adams and Cheslin Kobe clone, the new one, what's his name? Edville van der Merwe. Edville van der Merwe scored like what, 3 tries, 4 tries today? 3 tries, I think. Just outstanding again. Like they all look exactly the same, and they're like extremely fast. I don't know. It's just incredible how they keep finding these crazy fast wingers that all have like a 5'5" in height, and then somehow jumps higher than everybody out there on the field as well. Just incredible stuff. And also one of your new props, Bowen, what's his name? Bowen Venter. Is it just me, or he actually looks like the Fat Thor? Okay? Is it just me? He actually looks like Fat Thor. Anyway, maybe it's just me because I'm Asian, right? They all look the same to me, right? But hey, let's move on. Let's move on, okay? And then overall, I thought, also, Sacha Fanbogum Zulu lost his golden boot tonight. Last week, I said that, what's his name? Last week, I said that man in the box kicking was 80%. I thought that wasn't quite good enough for Test rugby. And Sacha Fanbogum came in. Yeah, missed a bunch. It's not because I think it's bad or anything. Like 80% is good. I think that my argument was that the fact that these games are like not not a game that a high pressure game. I think that the players should be close to 100% in these games when they're in low pressure situations, because you really want, in my opinion, you really want to always perform at the same level as as if you're at the World Cup, right? Elimination rounds. Because if you're always practicing at this level, when you get to that time when you really need to push yourself to the limit, you're not going to be able to deliver the results. And I think that's why I think these missed goals in a game where you win by a lot, it's more important to get them 100% than just kick like a 70% rate and think that it doesn't matter because you won the game anyway. I think it's more important that you deliver the accuracy, perform at the level that is required for the big games at all time. That's just my opinion, but especially if you're Springboks, you should always strive to be perfect at all times, in my opinion. So that's just a thing that, again, I thought definitely should be looked at and improved upon for the Springboks. But yeah, that's about it. I thought the Georgians really physical, scrum well, line out well, and I don't know, A team or B team, but they definitely play better than the Italians. And lots of respect for the Georgians for showing up and putting on a entertaining match for everyone. So the match stats of the game: 9 tries for the Springboks, 1 for the Georgians, 630 run meters. The Georgians tackled their hearts out. Seriously, it was only till like right at the end they were absolutely gassed before the Springboks finally like pushed the scoreboard like completely out of reach. It was like 34 points to 10 for a very, very long time, and the Georgians did really well to disrupt the bomb squad from making that impact off the bench. So yeah, like it's really, the stats really didn't reflect how much effort the Georgian players put out there on the field tonight. 22 turnovers conceded for the Springboks, 13 against the Georgians. Like, that is the number Rassie Erasmus is going to smack over everybody's head with. 22 turnovers, a lot of that just like drop ball because of the pressure that the Georgian players put on the players, on the Springbok players, and forcing those errors as well. 94 tackles made for the Springboks, 20 missed tackles. That's actually quite high, considering you only have to make 94 tackles in terms of percentage. 148 tackles made for the Georgians, 33 missed tackles for themselves, 24 kicks in play for the Springboks, 5 out of 9 goal kicking. Georgia, 26 kicks in play, no goal missed at all. 590 kick meters for the Springboks, 598 for the Georgians. Not too much of a crazy kicking strategy out there. The Springboks were happy to run the ball and then drop the ball forward as a result. Lineouts, 14 lineouts the Springboks, 2 lost. Georgia, 13 lineouts themselves and 1. So Georgia had line-out set piece there as well. Scrummaging, 7 for the Springboks, 0 loss. 7 for the Georgian, 2 loss. But there was definitely penalties given to the Georgia in their feed, against the Springboks, which was something that's just astonishingly good performance from the Georgians. 9 penalties conceded for the Springboks, 8 against the Georgians. Really well done overall for the Georgian side to put up a massive effort against the reigning defending world champions away in South Africa in front of a rowdy crowd at Mbombela, and undefeated at Mbombela Stadium for the Springboks. So yeah, let's do a quick recap of the scoring of the game. Yes, it was Georgians that scored the first try. They had a penalty. They went for the line out, and then with the maul, and they did the peel away. So the guy went through the middle, gets the ball down on the line. The TMO called in, almost wanted to deny the try, but it wasn't enough evidence. It looked like the ball actually touched the line just very briefly before it was held up. But yeah, not enough evidence to say that he didn't touch the line when the referee said clearly he saw the ball touch the line on the field. So 7 points to nil to Georgia. Nice start for them. After this, lots of handling errors. The Springboks was just dropping the ball left and right. Cobus Visa had a few. Yeah, he had a bit of a like he looked like a little bit. He looked like he lost his own emotions a little bit out there. Like he was making a lot of mistakes, and it looks like the mistakes were frustrating him a little bit and was causing him more and more mistakes throughout the game. But yeah, he looked a little bit frustrated, and his brother obviously red carded, and he's getting an opportunity to start at number 8 position this week. So after that, there was a good scrum from the Georgians, and then there was a penalty for the Springboks. They went for the line out. And like I said, looked like a magic trick out there. Lots of deceptive runners, people pretending to have the ball, and then eventually there was a pick and go from the reserve, from the hooker. What's his name? Cobus? Marnus van der Merwe goes in for the try. 5 points to 7. 13 minutes into the game, another rolling maul for the Springboks, and then again, Marnus van der Merwe gets the ball at the end, try. 10 points to 7 for the Springboks. 18 minutes into the game, Grant Williams, he got the ball, looked up and saw a little gap and just ran, just put a jet shoes on, ran through the gap. Nice little offloads between like what looked to be like 4 wingers. Williams, pretty fast, could play winger. You had Kana Moody, who's a winger, who scored a try ultimately. You had, Edville van der Merwe, and then Curdy Allen, might have been involved in there somewhere. Just a bunch of wingers passing the ball back and forth between them. And then Kana Moody went in for the try. 15 points to 7. 27 minutes in the game, the Georgians, again, getting a penalty in a pretty good position. They kicked 3 points. 15 points to 10. And just before halftime, actually not just halftime, 31 minutes before on the clock, another a scrum penalty for the Springboks. And then there was it was just literally like a big hit, and the tight head side went down, and then the Springboks kicked the line out. They went for the maul, and then once again, Marnus van der Merwe goes in for the try. 22 points to 10, half time. Second half starts again, more penalty, more error count starting to pile off the Springboks. 47 minutes in the game, there was a scrum for the Springboks. They piled in a lot of pressure. There was a long ball from Grant Williams over the top, out wide to Edville van der Merwe, who was wide open without anybody in front of him. Gets the ball, dots it down for the try. 27 points to 10. 55 minutes in the game, Damien Willemse just got onto the field, fresh as daisies with 100 Pollard. There was another play inside the Georgia's 22. 100 Pollard got the ball from the scrum, just taken on the gain line, and then the flat ball to Willemse, ran a nice little angle, went in for the try. 34 points to 10, 56 minutes on the clock. After this, the Springboks really starting to fall apart. Like, the structure was just not there. Players were throwing passes that shouldn't have been thrown, dropping balls everywhere. And the Georgians defended and just smacked the players left and right, and causing a lot of errors. And finally, it took all the way to 72 minutes on the clock. From 55 to 72, just errors everywhere. 72 minutes of clock. Finally, the Springboks was able to get some more structure back into the game. They were building inside the 22, and Francois de Klerk, little kick over the top, and once again, Edville van der Merwe just ran through, full speed ahead, grounds the ball, 41 points to 10. And after this, 78 minutes of the game, Achia Sneeman just ran the ball really hard into the defensive line, post contact, nice little flick pass behind to Grant Williams again. He just burned himself down the field, and then nice inside pass to Kurti Adensa, went in for the try. The other guy with the headgear, 48 points to 10. And finally, 80 minutes on the clock. Both teams were just exhausted and just trying to run each other down to the last minute. The ball went out went out wide to what's his name? Edville van der Merwe, who ran down the sideline. Looked like he might have been free. He got tackled. The ball went back midfield. A quick flat pass to 100 Pollard. Little bit of juke. Ran through a gap and gets the try on the board. The final try, 55 points to 10. And everybody was absolutely gassed out from the end of the game. And yeah, that's a really nice performance by the Springboks. Good finish. Lots of errors. Still needs to be improved. And maybe a little bit of maybe some line out new tricks to be learned from the Georgians for Rassie Erasmus to think about. And yeah, let me know your thoughts, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. And donkey.